Hey everybody, welcome. My name's Jamie and this is my co-host.
Hello everybody, my name's Lyle.
And today we're going to get you started as an activist with Represent Us, and we're going to ultimately help you make some calls. So how it's going to go is I'm going to demonstrate for you how to get into our Slack where we communicate, and then I'm going to show you how to get registered with CallHub, our phone banking software, and then Lyle's going to teach you how to use CallHub. So I'm going to share my screen in a second. Here we go. Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how to get started with the Represent Us Slack. So you're going to go to your search bar and you're going to type in RepresentUs/chat, okay? And that is going to redirect you to this beautiful page. This is where you are going to register using an email that you're familiar with. So I'm just going to use this email, demo day. Continue. Now you got to go check your email address and you should be getting a confirmation link, and here it is. So here's my confirmation link from Represent Us. Confirm email. Put in your name, demo, testing. And create your account. Definitely save your password. I recommend writing it down, but just make sure you don't lose your password, okay? Because you're going to need that. Is that not obvious? Anyway, save it. And then if you have the Slack app on your desktop already, you can open it. But a lot of people I know, they actually like to just use Slack in their browser. So I'm not going to judge you. All right, let us continue in the browser. And here we go. You're now in Slack. This is some type of onboarding sequence which may change over time. But here's what you really want to do. If you're joining Call Team, that is. You want to browse all channels. Here's a channel called Call Team. Join that channel. Here we go. Join. And now you're in. And now you can see where all the calling fun happens and get on the same page. This is where we communicate. This is where we collaborate. And this is where we celebrate by sharing bells, just like this. And I always like to do a little emoji react when somebody posts a bell. Give them a heart. I'll give them, there's a lightsaber emoji. So, where is it? Oh, I'll give them the caterpillar. I've never seen that one before. Yeah, so this is how we celebrate our wins, by posting emojis. And I think I've shown you how to go from a brand new user to someone who's onboarded into the Represent Us Slack. That is probably the first most important thing to getting involved with Represent Us and helping us destroy corruption. And if you're going to be continuing along in Call Team, there should be another video linked somewhere around here that's going to show you how to get started with CallHub, which is the phone banking software we use to call American citizens, possibly like yourself, and help them help us end corruption. So I'll see you in the next video. Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how to get started making calls with CallHub in 1 minute. So you're going to go to represent.us/CallHub, and it's going to bring you to a page that looks like this. From here, you're going to put in a username, and then you're going to put in your email address. And when you're choosing your team, you're going to choose Call Team. Sign up. And now we go to our email to get our confirmation link. So here I am on my email. I'm getting my link to confirm. Maybe you can click it from your email browser. Maybe you have to put it in the URL bar. So I'm just going to paste it in. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, now I'm going to make a new password. Nothing too crazy. I would write it down just so you don't lose it. And here's the part that kind of matters. For connection preference, you're going to type in web browser. And you're going to set your password. And here you are in your dashboard. You're in. Now you are a call team caller. Welcome aboard. Okay, so I've gotten you through the initial onboarding and registering into CallHub. So now Lyle is going to take it away and show you what it's like actually using CallHub. He'll get you oriented with the overview of it, and then teach you a little bit about how to make calls. So Lyle, you can take it away, and you can screen share if you want.
Very good. Thank you, Jamie. All right, so this is the opening page of CallHub that we see once we're in. I have a choice here of, and you'll see this, a choice of campaigns. We have at the top here the Arizona Members Campaign, and below it is the West Virginia Voters Campaign. The new callers today are going to be clicking on the Arizona Members, okay? So we'll go in there. All right, so this is what should come up. This in the middle is what we call our call script. I'm going to click this join the campaign, which will take us to the next screen.
You are now starting the campaign.
So that is what you will hear. You'll hear like a little beep and this sweet female voice saying you're now starting the campaign. And then these different activity buttons come up that we'll go into here in a second. 242 calls have been made into this campaign according to what CallHub is telling us. And again, our script is here. I'm going to click here on next call. That will activate the first call, but I will immediately hang up because I'm not ready to talk to this person at this point in time. You see the icon up there showing ringing. Some people expect to hear a ringing sound as they make a dial and think it's not working if they don't. That's not the case. You won't hear that sound, but you will see that icon up there bouncing around a little to indicate that it's ringing. All right, so the first person we're on our calling list here is Eric Brown, and we see some information about him. His phone number, this being a member list, we will usually see an email as well. And then we have this text button that we'll go into here eventually. First, I'm going to go across the top here. We had already used the next call button, but now it's grayed out because we've already made the call and we have to finish the call before we can make the next one. Next button is the dial pad, which I really do not use for anything. Sometimes you could try to get through a robocall by putting in numbers, but honestly, or a robo blocker, excuse me. But I've never hardly ever gotten through a robo blocker, and so I never use the dial pad for anything. This would be a mute button. Again, I've never used that because I don't want to mute myself while I'm on there. The hang up button you saw me use earlier as I hung up on this call. Now it's grayed out since the hang up has already been done. This is our patch through button. Now, if this campaign allows us to patch the call through to Amy Klobuchar. If we were doing so, we would click on this patch through button, and I'm just going to try to show you this as if it were working, even though it's grayed out. So let's say I've clicked it. Somebody has agreed for me to patch the call through to Amy Klobuchar. A box about this big is going to show up here, okay? And it's going to have across the top of it Amy Klobuchar's number, where I press a little drop down arrow. It's going to say, yep, select Amy Klobuchar, okay. I do that, and then down in the lower left corner of that box we'll see a button that says call. And I'll click that, and that connects the call. I want to make sure the person I'm calling that I'm patching through is ready to go before I do that. And I usually will give them a little warning that there may be a pregnant pause before it connects, but it will connect. After I've done that and the call is connecting, I can hear what the person is hearing on their end, and I can just listen to the entire thing as they leave the message with Amy Klobuchar. At some point here, another box has a tendency to open over here with a couple of buttons. I never do anything with them, even though it looks like one of them says you should. I think one of them says transfer call or something. At this point, the call's already been transferred, so don't let that throw you off. Just kind of warning you a little bit on that. So again, your things you do, you click the patch through, you select your senator at the top of the box, the lower part of the box, you punch call, and basically you've done all you're going to do. It will connect from there, and the person can leave their message. All right, so the redial button, which that's something if you get disconnected, you could hit the redial button, or that's the main instance you would use that. Okay, so now let's look at Eric Brown here a little bit to get the information about him, his phone number, and basically we'll explore the text button here. Let's say that Eric Brown is open to us sending a text to him with more information about the campaign. I would ask, okay, Eric, the number I'm calling you on here, is that a number I can text you on? And if he says yes, then I will copy and paste it. I'll open the text box. You see over here, the big box opens up and says enter number. So then I paste it, Control V, right into there, and click here, and it shows that I will have added the cell number. Now, normally for you as new callers, you'll just see this one kind of like a default or pre-programmed message for you to text. It says, thanks for chatting with me today. You can leave a voicemail for Senator Klobuchar at DC office line, and that gives the phone number and stuff. So this is basically if they were open to leaving a message with Amy but didn't have the time at this point on the call, you would do this message. Maybe they agreed for you to text them some more information about the For the People Act, in which case you would have to click on this, at which point now I can edit this. I can take this out, and I can put in another link that I might have somewhere else that I would copy and paste. So I usually will keep an extra window open on my browser to have links like that available, so I can do that kind of stuff. And then, of course, once I have the message ready to go, here's my send button. So that's how you send a text. All right, so now we'll look a little harder at the call script. As a new caller to the campaign, I would suggest you read the entire call script to kind of familiarize yourself with it. There's some good information in there for you. You don't have to memorize it. I wouldn't suggest you try. And I like to, make a few, I like to get ready with what are going to be my opening lines as I talk to the person, because usually that's the most critical part of your call. You get the person to listen to you for a couple of lines and be on board with talking with you, then your foot's in the door and things are going good. So I like to be really sure of my first lines. Here is the intro as it is shown in the CallHub or in the call script. And they're saying, they suggest you say this, hi, first you say, is this Eric Brown? Is Eric Brown available? I usually say, hi, is this Eric? If it's a male's voice. If it's a female's voice, then I might say, is Eric Brown available? And wait for their answer. And then and this will populate too. This will actually say Eric Brown in there, which is kind of nice. Makes it easier for you if you do want to read this. But again, I'm not big on reading stuff as I'm talking to people, other than I like to have my first couple lines very, very clear in my head, as well as perhaps written in big print in front of me, somewhere on a paper or on a lower part of the screen or something, that in case I do panic a little bit, I have it there. All right. So we've gotten past the first part. Their first lines here are, I'm a volunteer with Represent Us, the country's largest grassroots anti-corruption organization, working to bring folks from across the political spectrum together to fix our democracy. I'm calling with an update on a federal anti-corruption campaign. Have you heard of the For the People Act? To me, that's kind of wordy. I would just say something like, after we've gone through this first part, getting the names. Hi, I'm Lyle. I'm a volunteer with Represent Us, and I wanted to talk with you about the For the People Act. Have you heard about it? Something brief, because to me, this is a little long and wordy, but you'll find your own style, and you'll find, it's important for you to communicate in your own style. Don't try to be something or somebody you're not. Just all we're trying to do is make calls to people, get them started to talk with us, let them realize we're not a robocaller, and have a little conversation, All right, so then we would eventually, if we've asked if they've heard about the For the People Act, it goes into a few more things, and they're all specific to a particular campaign here. Different campaigns will have different scripts, so you will want to read the script in advance of any new campaign you do, and kind of make your little notes, get your opening lines very ready, so you're settled with them. And this talks you through, what to do if you ask if they're supportive of the act. They say yes. I don't like government corruption. I would like to get rid of more of it. Terrific. And you go from there. And the call script gives you, if they say this, then you can say that. And again, you'll have read that all, so you'll be familiar with what the call script tells you. But again, do it in your own words, do it as a conversation, you'll be fine. It's not rocket science. All right. Other options, they may be undecided or non-supportive, and you will need to put that in the call disposition down here. The call disposition is what you will fill in at the end of each call, whether it's successful or unsuccessful. This opens that up. Here are the options. Do not call. That's the one we put in if they have been rude and hung up on us, then we take them off the list. Or especially if they ask to be taken off the list. But sometimes with the current campaign, we're actually taking them off the list just if they're hanging up on us, because we're likely to go back through this list, and we want to make it easier and more efficient for the next time through the list. No answer. That's the one that we'll be filling out a lot of the time as the call disposition. Either the call was never picked up on the other end, or it was picked up by a voice machine, and we do not leave voicemails because basically our information has told us that people don't respond to them. We're better off using those extra few minutes we save by not leaving the voicemail to make a few extra calls. Okay, so if they're supportive, that would be the correct disposition to put in. We also have the option of talk to contact. That would be, let's say they talk with you a few minutes, but they don't really tell you where they stand on the issue, and you can't even really guess from what you've talked with them. You might put in talk to contact.
Can I just come in for a second?
Yeah.
I just want, if there are any first-time viewers watching this, what you need to know is the do not call and the no answer options, those are always going to be there. And then all of the ones you see below it, those are going to vary campaign by campaign.
Yes, very good, Jamie. That's something I should have mentioned. All right, so then transferred, obviously we're asking to possibly transfer their call to Amy Klobuchar. That would be the transferred disposition. Undecided, and if they are undecided, that's when I, either supportive without being too sure of themselves, or undecided, or even non-supportive, but particularly undecided and not too sure about themselves, that's when I like to offer the text option and say, yeah, I could text you, a couple of links to more information if you're open to that. And that is how we, often will get them. With these calls, we're not looking to turn people's opinion 180 degrees to the opposite of what it was. If they are non-supportive, we're just looking to plant some seeds, maybe give them some text links, maybe ask a question or two, or let them ask us a question or two, and maybe turn their opinion, 5 or 10 degrees off of where it was. And if you can do that, you're making a very successful call. So anyway, those are the options for this particular campaign. As Jamie said, they will sometimes be a little different depending on the campaign and what the goal of the campaign is. All right, so that came out of here, the call disposition, and below that, there's the notes box. So if there's something that you want to say that isn't really, you haven't communicated it just by filling out the call disposition, you might put in here, let's say the name is wrong. Let's say it wasn't Eric Brown. You might say, actually, this is no longer Eric Brown's number. This was so-and-so, if you do have the right name, or if you don't, just say that the name was wrong. I don't put a lot of information in the notes, but I do use that fairly often to put in just a few extra, facts about what happened.
And if I can chime in for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
The notes field is actually really useful when you find these amazing people. Every now and then you'll find someone who's because we call a lot of activists. So a lot of the people on our list are already doing other things with other organizations, and oftentimes they're ideal partners for us. So without going into too much detail, you can make some really good friendships on these calls, and you'll find someone and they'll say they're offering to help link up their organization with ours. And then I go all caps and I just make a big fat note to make sure the people, the Represent Us admins, see this, so that way these amazing opportunities don't fall through the cracks. So the notes I find it really useful sometimes.
Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, that's really very true. I'm fond when we get those really special people, I like to get them on Slack with us. And so when I'm texting information, I will often text a link to, how to connect with us on Slack. And in the text, I'll also put in my name on Slack and say, hey, please look me up. I love to hear from people. And it really is kind of fun when a day or two later, you've got people going into Slack messaging you that you had talked to, a couple of days earlier. It really kind of gives you a nice little warm fuzzy. So anyway, we've finished now. We filled out the disposition. We've put in the notes that are appropriate. And then we would either click save, which for a successful call, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to click save, and then I'm going to go over to Slack to post my bell, which we do for the successful call. We post it into the call team channel so everybody can see what a great job we did with that call, and it really enhances our team spirit with the calling. If let's say this was a no answer, then probably this would be the save and next would be your button to click on, because then you're going to be immediately off to the next call. So, but you will have to have a call disposition in and then click save or save and next to finish out a call so that you can, get the next one going. And again, we'll go back over here quick to the numbers. You see now it shows that I have made one call today. So this counter will work through the time that I'm calling, and I'll have a record of how many dials I've made on that particular calling session. So I think that's about it here. We can take questions at this point if anybody has questions about how to handle CallHub.
Okay, so now you've seen what it looks like to join Slack. If you haven't done that, do that. And you've seen what it's like to join CallHub, our phone banking software. And thanks to Lyle, you have an overview of everything in CallHub and how it works. So I guess the next thing to do is just get in Slack and say hi in call team so that we know you're there. And another thing about the phone banking campaigns, sometimes you can do phone calls even when it's not a phone banking campaign. We do campaigns at certain times. Like we like to do Sundays around 4, and then we have a Tuesday night phone bank party hosted by Lyle. It's his baby. But you can actually do calls on your own time. Usually the campaigns are open from noon until 9 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're feeling motivated and just want to get some dials in, you can usually do them on your own time.
One disclaimer there too, I will say the Tuesday call party is not just a Tuesday night. We actually start sometimes early in the afternoon. And that is my baby, so that's why I want to make sure you know all about it.
All right. I think we've covered everything that a first-time caller needs to know, Lyle. Can you think of anything else?
Not too much. We're going into our schedule of heavy calling days. And as you said, Sundays, Tuesday call party. And then, of course, Thursday is probably our largest day of calling. And there's 2 Zoom trainings at noon and 6 Eastern to get new people started on that day. And that is normally our largest day for calling.
Tremendous. All right. Well, I think we've covered everything we got to do for now. So let's say bye for now, and we'll see you all in Slack.
Welcome, everybody.